John. Thanks for coming in and talking with me. I wanted to have a quick discussion about an issue that came up. There was a patient, Mrs. Thomas. Do you remember her? Yeah. Her family expressed some concern about the communication that took place. And they were saying that specifically they felt that you seemed unapproachable when they asked questions about her care and that their concerns weren't being fully addressed. You've been with us for 5 years and we've never had a complaint. So was there something going on that day that affected the way you communicated with them?
That's surprising because that's not what I picked up from our interaction with the patient, because I remember the situation you're talking about. To me, I feel like I answered the question or the questions that they had asked. I remember it was busy, and we've talked about how busy it gets around here before, so that's no surprise. But I was just trying to answer their question and move on to take care of the other 6 or 7 patients that I had that day. I mean, certainly I could have probably been a little bit more present, but again, I think I was just pressed for time.
Sure, of course. And we all have very, very busy days, and that day was exceptionally busy. I get it.
Right.
But sometimes it really interacts how people perceive us and how we interact. They really felt dismissed, and that's something we really need to work on, because when patients don't feel heard or their families don't feel heard, it really makes things a lot more anxious, and they don't perceive that their loved one is being really taken care of well.
That's certainly not my intention. I think that you agree from knowing me as long as you have. I was just kind of struggling that day just to keep up, head above water. But I can also, concede that I could have been a little bit more present that day in the conversation.
Sure. And, when we're feeling rushed, making sure that the families know that we hear them is really important, and they feel reassured. But it is understandable with a heavy workload, things can slip. Do you think this is maybe something we could work on together?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I get overwhelmed is really my issue to work through as a professional, and I don't want that to be conveyed through my care as uncaring or unempathetic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can definitely improve in this area for sure.
Of course, and I know that wasn't your intent at all. I think this is just a great learning opportunity that we can have. One thing we can do is focus on maybe intentional communication, taking a moment, even like in busy times, let the families know that you hear their concerns, and that they're really important to you. Even when you're feeling rushed, can you think of maybe something else that you can do, or maybe a better way to handle this in the future?
Sure. I mean, like I said, trying to create some time. I still want to acknowledge the problem or the concern in the moment. That way they don't feel dismissed. So I could start there by acknowledging whatever their issue is, but then explain that, I've got a couple of pressing issues to take care of first, so that then I can create a pocket of time that I could come in and spend some undivided attention and make sure that I'm addressing whatever their needs are in their room.
Sure, of course. So maybe letting them know for an example, 3 o'clock, I'll be back in and we can sit down and I can address these concerns more clearly.
Right.
That is a really great strategy. How about let's also look into maybe some additional communication training. We can all use improvement in that. There's also a few nurses who this is just a gift of theirs, where they are great with family interaction. Why don't I pair you with them, and you can shadow. We can even start meeting every few weeks. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds like a really good opportunity to connect with other employees as well. Yeah, I'd welcome that in a heartbeat. Trying to just, whatever makes me better as a professional and more effective and more efficient in my care for my patients.
Absolutely. We are here to support you. And we'll together figure out how to provide the best care, because it's a team. And then if you run into any challenges, maybe you and I can touch base every few weeks just to make sure you're getting the support that you need.
Sure, that'd be great. I really
Okay.
appreciate your availability and wanting to be a resource to help me improve in this area.
Absolutely.